I'm Veronica with Life with Vero, and something I'm going to do new on this channel for 2025 is a monthly reset video. This first one's going to be a little bit different because it's a new year, so there's nothing to reset from the previous month because I didn't do anything for December. But if you've never watched these videos, I personally love them. I think they're very motivational, and I love kind of seeing how other people budget and plan out their month. But we're going to go over my yearly goals as well as kind of just my monthly goals, which my monthly goals are the same as my yearly goals. I'll explain here in a bit. We're also going to go over my budget for the month of January and just kind of any other little bits and bobs that I want to talk. I'm planning on doing these every month. It'll be at the beginning of every month, depending on when I can film. And for February, it'll go over whether or not I actually stuck to my January budget. And then each month will continue. March will go over the February budget, but then also talk about what my budget for March is and how my goals are progressing and etc. Reset videos are kind of just about like resetting for the month, kind of just highlighting how the last month went and kind of what you hope for the next month. So let's get into it. So this is my Notion. I keep it pretty simple. You notice I don't put everything in here. I have like some tasks that I wanted to remember. I have some Amazon returns that I want to do next week. And you can see what books I'm currently reading. You can see what shows I'm currently watching. And then movies I still need to update. But I pretty much track everything in my Notion. This is kind of everything that's over here. I have all my content stuff. If you want to see an in-depth look more into my Notion, please let me know. I will eventually make this a free template for people to be able to use, but there are stuff in my Notion that I purchase, which I can always link that stuff as well. Let's first go over my goals for the year and then we'll go over the budget. So I'm still figuring out how I want this to look. So this is kind of what it looks like right now, but it might eventually change, so just keep that in mind. Essentially, the way I wanted to do my goals is I originally wanted to do goals for each month and then like specific goals for the year and then each month and then kind of go from there. But then I kind of realized as I was writing out my goals that they kind of went hand in hand. And because of that, it made more sense to do yearly goals, but focus on them on a monthly basis. So if I hit that goal for the month, then it'll get a check. I'm trying to work out a formula for over here that will show like a progress bar for the year, and then maybe also somewhere here show the progress bar. But I still need to play around with this and kind of figure out how I want it to look. But I really wanted to film this video because we're having a really good hair day. So, but also I was just really excited to film this video. So these are my goals for the year. So I really want to purchase a house at the end of next year or end of 2026, depending on how the budget goes this year. So first off, we're going to start with my financial goals. My goal is to save about $2,000 a month, which is quite a bit. On the minimum scale of that, I actually would like to save at least $1,500 to $2,000 a month. And then each month that I do that, I will check that off. I also want to stick to my monthly budget, and I'm not going to harp on anything that's like an emergency expense. Like if I have to buy something that I don't normally buy, I'm not going to count that against not sticking to the monthly budget. To me, sticking to the monthly budget is like sticking to the grocery budget, sticking to my ordering out budget, and things like that. And now we're going to go into personal. I also want to read 30 books this year. I only read, I think, one in 2024, and I had a goal of reading 30. So I did not hit that, obviously. So to hit that goal, I would need to read at least 2 to 3 books a month. Obviously, if I go over that goal, great. I also want to use my phone or tech less before bed. I don't consider the Kindle against that. So if I use the Kindle before bed, that's fine, but mostly just mindlessly scrolling on my phone. I don't think there's anything wrong with mindlessly scrolling on my phone if that's what I want to do at the moment, but I want to do less of that when I'm trying to focus on other things. I do it a lot when I'm watching a TV show or a movie, or I have like a Twitch stream up while I'm just like in bed, relaxing before going to sleep. And I feel like it makes it harder for me to fall asleep. But it's also, it's too much social media. I think I spend way too much time on it, and I really want to cut back a little bit. Even if it's only a couple nights a week that I just set my phone aside by like 9:30 p.m., 10 p.m., especially if it's a night that I don't stream, then I consider that a win. For health and fitness, we have workout consistently at least 1 to 3 times a week. For that, I consider like taking my dog for a walk during my lunch break named Piper, or using like a fitness video, or going for a run or whatever, whatever healthy fitness type vibe thing that I want to do, that'll count. I'll be happy if I do that 1 to 3 times a week. I also want to I have a standing desk for work. This is my like gaming streaming setup. And then in the other office, which I'm very thankful to have, I have a standing desk. So I also want to use the standing desk more and use the walk pad that I have. And I would also consider that towards the 1 to 3 times a week goal. And then next up, I want to cook more meals and order out less. I definitely ordered a lot of food last year. I don't even want to look at the total because it'll make me sad, but I definitely ordered out a lot because when you're cooking for one, sometimes it's kind of hard. So I really do want to meal plan more and cook a lot less, or I really want to meal plan more and cook more. And to do that, I'm also going to be using my slow cooker more, as well as my Instant Pot, and even just doing like some quick oven sheet pan meals. I think that'll make such a difference. I also want to try one new recipe a month. Over this last year, I've been really tired of the recipes that I've been cooking, and I think it's just because I'm kind of over a lot of them and I get very sick of certain things very easily. I'm not one of those people that can eat the same thing every day. I can for breakfast, but for lunch and dinner, it has to switch up. When I meal prep like 2 days at a time, and that's it, except for breakfast. So I really want to try new recipes, whether it's for the slow cooker or the Instant Pot, or just something on the stovetop or whatever. I really want to try new recipes because I think that'll help me stay motivated to cook more. Lastly, we have content creation. I want to upload to my vlog channel 2 to 3 times a month. That's the channel you're watching right now. That will include 1 reset video at the beginning of the month and then 2 vlogs. My goal is to vlog basically every other week, which should be about 2 to 3 vlogs a month. So we should be able to hit that. I also want to upload 1 long form video to my gaming channel month. That's linked down below. It's youtube.com/VeroIcon if you want to check it out. But I do play a lot of Apex Legends. I want to play some other games. And I've been kind of slacking with only doing short form content there, which I don't consider short form content slacking, but I really want to do long form content as well. And so that is my goals for the year. I'm definitely still figuring out the format for this because I don't want to like track everything every single day. For some of these, I think it would just be too much. But I do want to be able to like open something and like maybe leave notes for each month. I'm not sure. So now we're going to go over my budget for 2025. Before we get into this, I will not be showing how much I make at work. I just feel really uncomfortable telling people that I don't know how much I make. I make enough that I can rent a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house and have a dog. And, you know, I don't want this to seem like I'm bragging about how much I make or how much I'm trying to budget with or whatever it could be construed as. But this is just my realistic budgeting for me, and my budget might look different than your budget, but maybe you can get some ideas from it. So the budget that I'm using is through Google Drive, and I will link the creator down below. But the creator that I got this from is Selena Trevino. I've watched her for a couple years now, and I really love her channel. She actually bought a house, I think earlier this year. But yeah, I'll link her channel as well as her budget. It does cost money, but I've really enjoyed it. I've tried to use it for the last 2 years and I was doing really well in 2023 and I sucked at using it in 2024. So one of my goals in 2025, as you saw, is just to actually use this budget and stick to it because I think it will genuinely help me. Obviously, you don't have to use this. You can use whatever works for you. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and zoom you all in for this one because I have a new 27-inch monitor. So let's go over my January budget. So I'm not going to show my income summary or anything or what I'm budgeting for that. I do get 2 paychecks from work, and then I do make a little bit of money from content creation through both YouTube sometimes and through Twitch, but I'm not going to list what I'm budgeting for that just because it makes me uncomfortable. First, we're going to go over bills and fixed expenses, which should be about 50% of your income. You'll notice I have subscriptions at the bottom, which for the month of January is $159. Ooh. That does include my security system that I have for the house that I'm renting, and that does also include like my dog's bark box and things like that. I do want to get that subscription down. I have like Peacock, Paramount, Netflix. I pay for YouTube Premium, Hulu Plus, and like Disney. I do want to kind of get that down and figure out which ones I am using and which ones I'm not, and maybe try and reduce that to like $100 or less, which my mom also does use a lot of those subscriptions too. So it's not just me. So for rent, my rent is going up for the new year. Thankfully not too much, but the rent went up as well as the pet fee. For my rent, it is the actual rent itself for the house, as well as the pet fee, and then water bill, as well as like the trash fee for like the trash pickup. So it's going to be around $1,800 a month. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't paid it yet. So I'm just going to budget for about $1,875 a month because the water bill obviously can fluctuate depending on what's going on for the month. For my cell phone, I pay about $120, but I'm actually not going to have to pay any this month because T-Mobile charged me twice in December. Thanks, T-Mobile. I'm trying to move away from T-Mobile. If you have any mobile recommendations, let me know. Just not Verizon, because Verizon sucks in my house and they could not figure out why. So really, I guess that just leaves me with AT&T. But yeah, so the bright side is that I have a credit of like $120 with T-Mobile, so I won't actually have to pay the cell phone bill in January. So not a bad deal. You notice my Wi-Fi is $15. I do not actually pay $15 for Wi-Fi. I'm very blessed to work from home for a tech company, and they do give us a little bit of money a month towards our Wi-Fi bill, and that pays for the majority of my Wi-Fi. So, which I have AT&T for that, which is why I've considered getting AT&T for my phone service. If you have AT&T for your phone service, can you let me know how it is? Thank you. And then Piper is my 3-year-old Siberian Husky, and she does have pet insurance, and that's $59 a month. And then I do pay for lawn care because I don't want to mow. One, I'm allergic to grass, trees, and weeds, so all the things I'd be around outside. And two, I just don't want to. I pay someone twice a month to mow. It's about $44 for each session, which brings it to about $88. Because it is cooler in Florida, the grass really isn't growing, so that's why it's down for $0 right now. But I do still want to list it in my budget because it is something that I normally have to do, and I'll probably have to start picking up again either February or March. And then I also have car insurance. I actually swapped to a different car insurance company, and I'm saving about $100 a month, but it is about $77 a month. So that is all of my bills and fixed expenses. So for variables expenses, which should be about 30% of your income, this is kind of what I've budgeted for this. This may change throughout the year, and you may notice that, but this is kind of what I came up with right now. So for utilities, I put it at about $130. It unfortunately hasn't been super cold in Florida, so I have had to run the AC, and there's been some nights where it actually has been cold and I've had to run the heat. So it's not as cheap as it usually is, but it's been about like $90 to $100 these last few months. So that's why I'm budgeting for just $130 to kind of just give myself a little bit of a buffer. For groceries, since I am purchasing for just one person, it still is pretty expensive for one person. I really want to get my grocery bill down to less than $400 a month, but I'm kind of just giving myself a buffer as we go through the month so I can kind of get more of an idea. I really do want to go to places like BJ's and Costco and get like a lot of my meats, and I think that will help because I can freeze a lot of that, and I think that'll help in the long run with saving money. So that is something that I definitely want to do. Groceries does include a lot of like household items like toilet paper, paper towels, stuff for my dog. I'm not going to take anything that I buy from the grocery out of her budget for the month. So that's why it's about $430 for the entire month. I just went to the grocery store a couple days ago, and I think it was like with coupons. Use those digital coupons. I use digital coupons with Publix all the time. It was, I think, like $125, which is probably about average. I think on the high end, I hit like $150 due to having to buy like toilet paper and paper towels, because I always seem to have to buy those at the same time, which is really unfortunate. And then takeout and delivery, I'm listing those together. So if I just go somewhere to get it or I get it delivered to my house, that gives me $50 a month. My goal is to only order like 1 or 2 times a month if it's a day that I just really don't feel like cooking, or if I just want to like order breakfast or something, or I just want to go and get something. This might also be reduced, but I did 50 because with delivery fees and everything else, it does kind of, it adds up. And then shopping. This could be makeup. This could just be a new mouse pad. This could be whatever, just anything that I want to buy for me that is not a need, but just a want. So that could be like a new game that came out or whatever. And then for coffee, we have $15. I don't buy coffee every month, but I do every once in a while like to treat myself and go to one of the local coffee shops here and get some coffee. So I put 15 because that would probably be depending on where I go, about 2 to 3 a month. I will probably not spend that much, so I might end up reducing that to probably like $8 or $9 a month. But for now, we're going to give ourselves a little buffer and put it at 15. Next up, we have my dog, my very beautiful, gorgeous husky named Piper. I put $75 a month for her. That is treats, bones, toys, which I really don't have to buy her too much because she does get a bark box, but I will be stopping that. I think the last month will be in February, purely because she just has so many toys and she really doesn't need any more. Don't tell her I said that. But this also counts if I have to buy food for her, which thankfully I don't have to buy too often because I usually get like a big bag, and just any other miscellaneous stuff that she might need. This also does include if I take her to a daycare. She goes to like a daycare where she can like run around. That's usually, depending on if she's there for 4 hours or for the whole day, it's about $26 to like $35. And then if she gets groomed, that'll cover that too. Then for content creation, I did $50. If I make any money from content creation that month, that'll usually just go back into content creation. So that is anything that I have to buy specifically for content creation. So that'll probably be the money that I used to pay for like Adobe Photoshop, because I use Photoshop for content creation. Obviously, that is any, like if I bought this spreadsheet, this kind of could be content creation. So I could like maybe count that as it. If I buy a game that I specifically want to make a video about, I would count that. If I do any giveaways, either in my Discord server or on my stream or YouTube or whatever, that would also count. If I needed to buy an SD card, stuff like that. And then miscellaneous is just anything that doesn't fit anywhere else. I gave myself $75. Thought I'd just give myself a little buffer. I probably could have just included it in shopping and made it $175, but I just went with $75. And then as you saw in my yearly goals, I do want to save $2,000 a month. And I accidentally have 1,000 here. We're gonna actually put 1,500, but for my first house, I think we're gonna go ahead and just put 1,500 for the budget for January. I'm hoping there'll be some months where I can definitely do a lot more, but we're gonna do 1,500 because I just purchased a couch a couple days ago. Shout out to the people that gave me gift cards for Christmas, because I used some of the gift cards for that. But you know, obviously that was also a pretty big chunk of change, so I'm gonna get that paid off as soon as possible. So that's why that's a little bit less. And then sinking funds, I don't have a sinking fund right now. I just have one savings account, so I'm just not going to include that. For my investments, which should be about 5 to 10% of your income, my 401k automatically gets pulled from my paycheck before I actually get paid, as does my HSA, which is my health savings account. So I'm not going to include that in here at all. I do want to look into more investments, but I don't think I'm going to do that until after I purchase a house. And then I don't really have any monthly to-dos or any wish list. And then for debt, I really don't have anything. I do have the bill from the couch, which I will probably list, but I should be able to pay that off in January. I try and keep my credit cards at 0 pretty much at all times. And yeah, so I'm very thankful to not have any debt. I don't have any student debt or anything, and I am very, very thankful for that. But that was my reset video for January. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because we do 2 vlogs a month, as well as one of these reset videos at the beginning of every month. I'm excited to kind of see how this will look at the end of the year, how our goals are going to look, how our budget's going to look, and how much we've saved. Maybe we'll be moving into a new house at the end of the year. But if we don't, that's okay too. But thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know any goals that you have for January or for the new year, and if you're gonna also maybe try budgeting. But thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Bye.